So, hi and Assalamualaikum to Madam Siti Nordina binti Haji Muhammad Ali. So, today we will be going to present to you a video critique of this the assistant. My name is Muhammad Azim Naim bin Azhar.
And my name is Nur Emilia binti Zahri.
So, I'm going to tell you the synopsis of this movie. So, Jane, a fresh college graduate and aspiring film producer, has recently been hired as a junior assistant to a prominent entertainment entrepreneur. During her day, she prepares coffee, ordering lunch, managing travel arrangements, and taking phone messages. However, as the day goes by, Jane started to become increasingly aware of the abuse during her workday, and this caused her to take a small step in doing what she believes to be true. So that's the synopsis of this movie. So we will move on to the main character, which is Jane. So the main character of this film is Jane, played by Julia Garner, whereby the character was having a problem regarding to her low self-esteem and anxiety issue. She was having and encountered various problems regarding her workplace which disturbs her mind. So we'll be moving on to the first video episode.
Okay, next, move on with the first positive and critical incident. So, from the video excerpt, the scene where Jane went to work at early morning even before sun rises. Despite having breakfast at home, she prefers to have it at the office. As she was there, many works have been done to prepare the day. So, based on the situation, we can relate regarding their professionalism in the workplace theories, where Jane has been practicing professionalism behavior as she is a timekeeper and always abide the office hours fixed by the organization. This applies when Jane disciplines herself to come to work early in the morning every day. This event clearly shown that Jane has practiced professionalism and reflects on the theory. So Jane finds that being ready and ahead would not make her left in the shadow. This makes her colleagues have a positive impression on her. Plus, she was never late to work. So, by recommendation, prior to her situation, it is good to follow her trait for being punctual to work. Maybe in the future, Jane could take carpool with her colleagues to save money so that she would not burden herself. Okay, next. Okay, moving on to the next video excerpt. Throughout the scene, Jane is a hardworking staff who did her work precisely and neatly. She even did making coffee for her colleagues, doing chores, cleaning, and run some tasks without complaining. So, Based on the scene, it can be referred to the theory of professionalism in workplace, where one must practice professional performance. Just like Jane, as she did her work to the best of her ability and professionally focus on the quality and quantity of the work, without complaining or giving excuses. But instead, she even did all the work out of sincerity. So, for the cause and effect, Jane feels that by doing her best, she can prove to her boss that she is useful for the company and will eventually keep her position. This encourages her to do better every time. So, by recommendation, every worker must show diligence in workplace to add value to their character, which will eventually boosting the employer's, colleagues, and even clients' trust towards them, so that Jane will be one trustworthy person. Okay, next.
During high school competition. Yes, I was people and the woman here. And what place is I putting into all manuals? Eighth grade. And as of right now, there are two additional packets. Okay, great, thank you. Bill, hi, I need to sleep ready for tonight. There's two additional rooms. John, hi. 1:30 a.m. there. Sorry, what's that? Oh, okay. Well, how are you doing now? I understand that. Don't worry, I'll sort it out.
Okay, based on the video excerpt, Jane diligently took action when she got informed that there are changes in number of inmates coming by updating the information to all the person in charge. Plus, she even made sure that everything goes as planned. So, based on the theory, the scene depicts on the theory of language function for interpersonal communication and workplace interaction, for formal workplace interaction, in which Jane had made a phone call to seek clarification and inform the person in charge about the updated planning. She even made sure to find a replacement for the sick driver by thinking a quick solution and deciding the best result. So the cause and effect, she made the action to ensure all the planning will be on track without causing misunderstanding, which will be her fault if she did not taking care of the matter quickly. By doing so, Jane could avoid any incoming issues. So the recommendation, for words to come, every planning should be done with a backup plan to ensure a precise and successful planning. By doing so, Jane could counter a problem easily and surely. So by thinking quickly, Jane recover a problem by solving in a glimpse of time. So next, move on.
So this time I'm going to tell you the critical incident of negative, which is the lack of manner. In the scene and the video before, Jane was cleaning her dishes at the office, which then her colleagues left their masks and dishes. Jane cleaned their dishes without them saying thank you or please. So according to the situation, what we can relate regarding the communication theories is the language functions for interpersonal communication and workplace interaction, whereby one should have communication if she or he wants to ask for help. For example, Jane's colleague should at least say, I'm sorry, can you wash this please? Or at least say thank you. These words or phrases implying on the small talk or informal workplace interaction stated in the theory. And the cause and effect of this video is due to Jane's colleague of lack of manners. Jane feels disrespectful at her workplace, causing to stress and causing poor morale. And my recommendation is this: everyone must have consciousness, especially around other person, so that everyone around us do not feel disrespectful. So in my opinion, having a small talk, say by I'm sorry, please, it's really helping us in doing something if we are asking for help. So moving on to the second critical incident negative. So, the critical incident negative, the second one is the use of vulgar language. In the movie, Jane has been cursed by her boss when Jane interfered her boss' personal life. And based on the communication theories, it is learned that one must have considerations for professional interactions, which is attitudes and behavior, in which the boss should not have speak or talk in a bad manner with his worker, and instead have a proper discussion. And the cause and effect from this video is when her boss calls Jane, this portrays on his personality and bad impression, in which it causes Jane to become low self-esteem and more anxious. And my recommendation in this situation, Jane's boss must be rational and professional. One must not use any profane language and should do a proper discussion on the problem. So, on my opinion, Jane's boss should have a proper, such as doing a letter to Jane, so that Jane should know on what her problem. And this way, Jane will not feel so bad and have low self-esteem and more anxious. So moving on to the third video excerpt of the critical incident negative. So, the serious video excerpt before just now is the unjustness in the workplace, whereby in that scene, it was happening during Jane went to HR department to complain and share her burdens regarding the treatment she received from her boss that is different with the newly appointed secretary. However, the person in charge just ignored her complaint and even threatened her. And the application of theory is this. The combination theory in this scene is the same as before, which is considerations for professional interaction, attitudes, and behavior. As the person in charge of HR department, not only ridiculing and mocking Jane, who at that time was sharing her problem, but the person also threatening Jane, in which it shows a very bad behavior and attitudes. And due to that person in charge unjustness, Jane was feeling distressed and emotionally disturbed working at the company. And my recommendation on this situation is the HR department should have taken serious on Jane's complaint, being positive and give the best solution on Jane's problem. So we'll be moving on to the conclusion.
Next is the conclusion. So there are much we can learn from this video except in terms of professional and unprofessional behavior in the workplace. This video excerpts highlights the importance of work ethics, ethic communication, body language, and personality in the workplace. We can conclude that all these aspects of communication do not only impact on our relationship with others, but also teach us to communicate effectively. We must remember that when interacting professionally, we have to show respect by listening attentively and observing politeness in every aspect of our communication. So, and with that, that's the end of our presentation. So thank you for listening.
Thank you.